I'm Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen. How are you today? Honestly, I'm a little sad. And I don't really know why. Well, I know why. There's lots of reasons. But I'm just a little sad, a little down. But what do you do when you're sad or down or just overwhelmed? Well, today, for my therapy, I'm listening to all my favorite music. So I usually just pop the radio on and listen to my favorite station, and that usually cheers me up. But it's been sometimes there's a slide that you feel, like you just, sometimes it's like, with your feelings, you're like, 2 steps up and 1 step back, 2 steps. So you feel like it, you're not losing ground. But I've just felt like this last week I'm losing ground. So today I'm rocking it out with my Nickelback, and I love Nickelback. I like lots of music. Like, I went from Nickelback to Leanne Rimes to Taylor Swift to Sting to the heck is the next one in there? All sorts of stuff, right? Like, I am not Motley Crue, like, I wasn't an 80s baby, but I was old enough to enjoy the music in the 80s. that was a interesting era. Great music, and Maroon 5. I mean, I've got current stuff, I got old stuff. So that's what I've been doing today. Just trying to pick myself up. Sometimes that's all you can do, right? Yeah. Okay, so anyway, enough about that. Let's go to the soap. We are doing a soap that I have done before. And since I have a hard time not changing things, like, there's those few, all jacked up, Blue Caribbean, that 70s soap. Well, that 70s soap changes with colors sometimes, but, I have those, minty mango, those stay, they're solid. And there's a few others, but, so this one is my All Things Honey. Is that what it's called? All Things Honey? I think so. It's got the beeswax. It's got the honey. It's got the bee pollen. It's missing a few components. It's missing the bees on top. I saw some at the store. Oh, they're the cutest, like little sugar bees in the cake decorating aisle, Sometimes I just gotta mosey through just to see what's new. Oh, they're so cute, but kind of pricey, but oh, so adorable. They would have been cute on soap, but yeah, the top is fine. We just stuck with the top, bee pollen, So anyway, I will just cut to the chase. We'll get to the video and I'll explain what I did differently. How's that sound? Like a plan? Like a plan. Okay. 3 things. Dream big. Be true to you. And you are worth it. Let's go check out this video. Bye. Okay, and to the soap. So there weren't a lot of changes to this. Like, the recipe is the same and the lye water is all the same. So in my oils, there is colloidal oatmeal and honey, and I forgot my recipe. Okay, yeah. Oh, milk, buttermilk powder is in the oils, so that's why I gave it a quick burst before I started. The lye water's all typically the same. Nothing unusual or scary in there. Although, no, I'm kidding. So many ways to amp up a soap. Seriously. So, yeah, like, depression and anxiety is a thing. Like, you hear about it a lot. And it's really weird that there are so much of it out there. So much of it. And it shouldn't be that way. You know, we really shouldn't have so many people fighting it off. I mean, some people have specific reasons, you know, but I mean, for the general public, we shouldn't have depression or anxiety. Not that we shouldn't have it. We shouldn't be medicated for it. You know, the statistics on how many people are medicated for depression and anxiety is absolutely astounding. And I think it falls back on the person as to, are you taking that out on your family and friends? Are you, what level are you? You know, do you get out of bed? Do you do your thing? Do you maintain? You know, sometimes we have to just take it upon ourselves to make ourselves better, you know, because those drugs have so many side effects. But anyway, I'm not on my soapbox, and I am not lecturing anybody or telling anybody to do this or do that. I just feel it's a compounding problem, and you know, we as a society and a nation need to get a handle on it. Okay, but anyway, so this fragrance oil is a blend of three different three different blends, because I didn't. You can go back to the other one and listen to why I didn't like it. But this one is delightful. So delightful. All on its own blend. And of course, we are going to put some kaolin clay in there. Kaolin can actually lighten a soap. There's a girl who did ombre gradient, whatever the hell it's called. She actually showed that, you know, you could add more clay to the soap and it would lighten every layer, and it was really cool. And clays actually give a little more bubbling to the soap too. And and they have great properties for skin. So why wouldn't you add it to soap, right? It blends perfectly in soap. This is my turmeric powder, which I actually added a little more, I think, in there this time than last time, because last time it was really, really hard to see. So I upped the ante on this. And if you look just to the right of that is, or no, to the right. My gosh, I can't even. Just to the left of that, in that little white bowl, is some cocoa powder in oil. So the turmeric powder is also mixed in just with some extra oils I had, before I mixed it with my lye water solution. And I'm going to swirl that in there too, just a tiny bit, because it gives it just that little bit of extra, I don't know, design, Honey is, after experiencing my own honey processing this spring, let me tell you, there's lots of things in those combs that you don't know. And I have to say, the darker the honey, it's got the bee pollen and the bee bread, whatever they call it. That was dark. And I have some dark honey. It is, beautiful. Just because the other stuff is really light and mild, but that stuff it's like molasses in the sugar ratio, really, really good. Okay, but anyway, I am pouring half of my batter into the turmeric to get the beautiful orange color. And then this pour is going to be a bowl swirl, and it's really held up delightful. I remembered that this batter was really nice and fluid, and so we're just going to do a simple bowl swirl where I pour I should have put the chocolate powder in first. It would have helped it go down. But anyway, you just pour into different places in the bowl. From up high. I poured up high because I wanted it to break that top layer, and go down. Okay, that's like a drop swirl would do. We're gonna do one of those here one of these days. Yeah. But yeah, so, a beautiful drop swirl. But it's going to be a bowl swirl because we're swirling it in the bowl and then we'll pour it into the mold. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, but on the depression subject, count how many people that are on depression or anxiety medication. I bet we all know somebody. Unless they're hiding it really well, but yeah, it's a thing. It's sad. What scares me is how many younger kids are on it. It's like little kids shouldn't be on it. It's just sad. But there are reasons. There are legit reasons. I'm not saying every child, that don't think this is a direct attack on whoever's listening or whatever. This is just my opinion. I feel for those kids. They shouldn't be anxious. They shouldn't be, but that is our society nowadays. That is life, and it sucks. It's crap. But anyway. Okay, so now I'm just going to pour it. I'm going to start on the side, I think. I gave it a swirl. That there's too much brown on top. I just thought I'm just going to give it a swirl and go from there. So I'm just going to pour it on this end and let it kind of swirl down. And then I'm going to swoop in. See? And both swirl right in the mold. Quick, easy. It's really fun to do that with the column mold because you can get some really, really cool bars of soap out of that. Like, you couldn't even plan them. They're just that awesome. You don't even need the little stick, the pull through. No, it's really fun. Really fun to do. So this was it. I was going to change the top, and then I had a huge discussion with myself on why I was not going to change the top of the soap, because it was cute before and we weren't going to mess with cute. We were going to put on the bubble wrap, to make it look like a honeycomb, and we were going to put the bee pollen on top, sprinkle it on top. I was not going to change this. I really, really wanted to change this, but I did not. My inner soaping self that knows all would not let me do it. Oh, yeah. So, it's a thing. It's so fluid. That is a beautiful, beautiful fluid soap. And I really don't know. Maybe it's from the fragrance oils. I have no idea. There's my bubble wrap. I'm just going to put it down on half the side and push it in. I don't want the soap coming over the top, but I want it to indent and make all those cute little honeycomb indentions on top. I can't even talk today, you guys. What is with me? Oh, it's been a long day. Yep, long day. I've been formulating facial masks. For, skin masks, not COVID masks. I was talking to somebody and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, formulating masks. And they're like, for what? It's like, they were thinking, face masks for COVID. And I'm like, no. Like clay masks, tighten your pores, clean your skin, all that jazz. And there's my bee pollen. So pretty. So this soap was a little bit more orange than I was expecting. But then again, you have the change and the cure. And I did spray that with isopropyl alcohol before I put the bee pollen on, because bee pollen does tend to liquefy. Yeah. And to the cut. So I'm going to very carefully peel that off. I'm probably going to speed this up because it's not the boring part, but I just don't want to bore people, Okay, so in that middle there, it got so hot that it cracked in the oven. Yeah, Soap gives off some heat, let me tell you. But yeah, it got super hot, but which is great because it went through gel phase. Like it. And look how light in color it is. You know how I was saying it was so orange? Look how light in color that is. And if you remember, my other soap was kind of a more creamy, not much to it. Look at the sides of these. Oh, when I show you the side of it. Beautiful, beautiful swirls. It's just all, oh, yeah. See, isn't that pretty? So pretty and shiny. Yeah, and that is like barely 24 hours. It was plenty hard, plenty, set up. I didn't put it in the freezer. Oh, I'm gonna flip it. I'm not sure. I think I cut it on the side because I don't want, if I cut from the top down, I'm gonna drag all those little bee pollen down the soap, and then I will have all these little scratch marks on the soap from the bee pollen. Okay, so I'm going to cut it to where the bee pollen is down, like on the bottom side. You can do that with when you put flowers on soap or anything like that that's going to, possibly come off and drag. Cut it on the bottom. Yeah, I was going to measure it, and then I'm like, no, this is dumb. Maybe I did do it that way. I can't even remember. Oh, no, I did. Okay. I was like, no, I'm going to flip it. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I just decided to speed it up. Like, you don't need to see it. I mean, you'll get to see it. It's just you don't have to see every little thing. I can't remember what soap I was cutting, and my husband was like, what the heck are you doing? It's like, I'm cutting soap. It was so loud. Oh, it was the cowboy one. Yeah, that first batch. I mean, I didn't notice, but it must have been really loud. I don't know how you can be loud. It's just that little wire cutter, but... Oh, and just so you know, I'm going to let this set up on the counter because... I'll show you, but I'm going to let it set on the counter before I take a picture of it for a day or so, just because it's going to change color. When you see the inside, it doesn't look anything like the outside, but it will. It's just because it hasn't been in contact with the air and it needs to dry out a little bit. Okay? That's the only thing. So, just so you know. Yeah, see the outside and then see the inside. It's still that. It's just like, it looks solid, one solid color, but it's not going to stay like that. The colors have to, they have to breathe and then they'll come out. Sometimes after 6 weeks, a bar can look totally different than when you just cut it, which sometimes sucks. Because it's like, why can't you just be pretty like I made you? And then sometimes it's good, it's a good thing. Like in this case, it's going to bring my swirls out, my little chocolate and turmeric swirls. But yeah, this scent was delightful. I really like this bar. The only thing, one other thing I did do different. I did not put the fragrance oil in the kaolin clay. I left the kaolin clay in the water by itself and then the fragrance oil after. Like I said, I don't notice that much of a difference when you soak it in the fragrance oil, I should do that in the dendritic salt. Dendritic salt? I can never say that word. But, and then put it in the soap. That'd be a test to do. If I remember. So many things. So many irons. Yeah, I was rocking it out today. I really was. Got some old country, got some old rock, got new country, I had new rock. I had all sorts of stuff going. But sometimes that's just what I need. an empty house, and my stereo. And that is all things honey. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.